All right, today I'm excited to introduce one of our partners, James Davis in Australia with the TSP advisory. And so he's a founder and a chief strategy officer and many years of experience working with MSPs, technology service providers, navigating transformation, improving their business, make more money, be more profitable, and have fun doing that. So I'm excited for him to share some insights today and then how he supports MSPs like our TopLeft clients. So welcome here,
Yeah.
James.
Thanks for having me, Wim. It's excited to partner up and amplify the messages of the need for transformation, and hopefully can help people get to know me better and what I'm all about.
Awesome. So yeah, just would love to hear a bit of your background and what got you to establishing the TSP advisory.
A bit of a long story short, I start from the beginning. I used to be a gardener. I worked too hard as a small business owner, and then I fell into sales and fell into being the first salesperson of a MSP. And back in the old days of converting from break fix into managed services. So that was a bit of fun. Then I got bored, started another company, didn't work out, and came back to the MSP space as a general manager and helped my owner sort out their business to what they wanted. And then I was getting bored again, and then I was involved in HCG, as it was known at the time, so ConnectWise Evolve. And I started consulting with other MSPs to help them. And then I ended up falling into meeting the guys from C-level operations in the US and brought that down to APAC and started to help a bunch of partners. Then I was acquired into Pax8 to lead the Pax8 Academy, which was all about enabling partners through education and community. And I was head of APAC down here. And I helped hundreds of partners in the region very quickly. And I realized that I'm not built for the global corporate world, and I wanted to come back to what I'm really passionate about, and that's engaging with technology services businesses one to one, work with the leading edge, and help them transform. So that's my 10, 15 years of career compacted into that brief story. But for me, it's really about that passion of partners needing to transform for the modern age. And I just love getting in and helping them.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess from your perspective, how has the industry changed and what challenges are there today?
It's dramatically changing. And I think this is what a lot of partners don't actually realize. So a lot of us, especially in the MSP space, were started by technical owners. We were the white knights in our local region that could solve any sort of small business problem. And when that whole MSP concept came around, that we could fix price recurring revenue, most of us just fixed priced our support. We added a bit of infrastructure management, but we didn't change too much. We leveraged some technology. It all was all quite natural. But in the last, I'd say since probably COVID was a tipping point that progressed things a lot faster. As we've moved everyone to the cloud, our client needs have dramatically changed. They're needing less of that traditional support. There's less infrastructure to manage, so our traditional value is shrinking. And at that same time, because of the technology and offshoring and things, our traditional offerings have commoditized quite significantly. So margin pressures are increasing. We're seeing overall profitability of the industry continue to go down. And on top of that, we're seeing demographic changes inside the decision makers of our clients and how they purchase technology, what they're trying to do, on top of our traditional clients that are predominantly baby boomers who are starting to exit. So there's all these inflection points going on at the same time. Then you add on the rise of cybercrime and the need to improve our cybersecurity postures internally and for our clients, the rise of AI, which is really just productivity and efficiency in a whole bunch of different technology. We're starting to get stretched by the broadness of technology that's coming down into the SMB space. And that's causing a lot of disruption. And that's the need to transform our business and operating models rather than see everything now as a bolt on. It's not a bolt on. We're going to have to do a curve jump in
Mm.
transformation to actually succeed in the modern.
Yeah. So you're really making distinction between an MSP, which is how that's the main term in this industry, but towards the TSP technology solutions partner or services partner. So how would you summarize that in a nutshell, I guess? What's all in TSP? It's like, is it like 10 times what an MSP would be just in terms of scope? It's like anything technology?
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to frame it from an internal perspective. The MSP, so I use the term end user support and infrastructure management. That's really all an MSP is focused on is those core things. But as technologies become broader in the SMB space, what we're needing to do is think about it. There's 12 major technology categories, and we need to be across all of those categories. And so in the technology solutions partner concept, what we're really doing is either thinking about being that sort of advisory consultant that's owning the client engagement, understanding their business and bringing technology solutions for their business challenges and creating opportunities for them. And then we're going to see a lot more technology specialists that are very good in their verticals in their technology space, that are going to deliver those more complex projects, the more specialized managed services through a channel model. And that's really where the technology solutions partner at a high level is really about, is just thinking about we're going to have to shift and expand our knowledge areas. It doesn't necessarily mean that we need to directly deliver all the solutions, but we also need to start creating a partner ecosystem.
That's a big shift. I've seen that in my own business, my own MSP.
It's just going to continue, because what's going to keep happening is that as demographic shifts in business, the younger generations are leveraging technology in a much different way, but also our environment's a lot more stable. We really have a lot of the foundations in place to enable people to start thinking about how they're going to create more efficiencies in their business and how they're going to enable scale and growth, while we need to still look at how do we reduce their risk of the impacts to their business.
So basically, as the CSO, the Chief Strategy Officer, maybe just share a story of how you're helping TSPs navigate this curve jump. What's been the impact there?
So what I'm seeing is where I typically start with partners is help them create clarity in where they want to head. I'm really working with the ones that have got the next horizon. They're working towards the next sort of decade. A lot of partners out there are heading towards exit, whether they're being deliberate or not, and then they're not the sort of partners that are the right fit for me, because they're just focused on optimization. So the ones that are looking forward to into the future, what they're having to do is really articulate that long-term vision, really understand their ideal client profiles that they're working with, and then working backwards then from the sort of top-down approach to go, what do they need now? What are they likely to need in the future? And then what are the skills and capabilities that we want to focus on building? And then what sort of partner network we build. And so a lot of that then starts to spawn a whole bunch of activity, changes and immaturity in how we operate our current practices, transformation of the design of their organization. What skills are they going to need for the future? What sort of people and roles that they're going to need? Then how are we actually presenting our brand and generating demand, let alone then helping design the right sort of solutions in a productized manner so it's repeatable and scalable, and then to enable the sales team to actually have conversations with the clients, because things have changed a lot. Conversations and how we engage clients are needing to change as well.
Yeah. Cool. And then are you also still getting to like the operational side as
Yeah,
well with these? Because it kind of goes together, right? You got the strategy, but how do you execute and deliver your projects, your tickets, everything else?
it's important, I think, like when people hear me called a chief strategy officer, a lot of us think about strategy as this airy fairy, not tangible thing, but actually strategy is quite critical to set out what we're actually going to do. It's not airy fairy when it's done right. It's the clarity that provides us a direction to focus on, and then creating a plan to execute, and the accountability around that is critical. And what I do dive into the operational layer, because one of our biggest challenges in the industry is the lack of experienced leadership. Most of the leaders that I come across are in their late 20s to mid 30s typically. They've typically only worked with that sort of one one organization. They don't have the broad experience across working many organizations. They haven't typically built a business or their department to the size that they're at now or where they're going. And they don't know what good looks like either. So I'm having to come in and show this is what good looks like and help guide them through that process of operational change. And what that really means is that strategy that has typically been that airy-fairy, just sit to the side, actually becomes quite tangible, because all of a sudden we are executing on the plan, and people have that clarity of where they're going and why we're doing that. And that becomes powerful, and that's what creates that sort of flywheel internally, because it creates that continual improvement culture. So without the actual day-to-day execution, a lot of this stuff becomes very, very useless. And that's what most of us has found as small business owners. So we've got to change that.
So I guess you have maybe some numbers or like a story to share where you're like, just, you don't have to mention the client, but you worked with some TSP and really had a massive change there in over 6 or 12 months. Like maybe you got a story there.
Yeah, so I think one of the ones I'm most proud of has been, I've worked with a business that when I first started with them, they were around $4 million revenue. So they're one of the smallest clients I've worked with in the TSP advisory. I've helped them over the last 18 months get up to $8 million in revenue. And that's a lot of that has been the change around mentality of how we operate. But it's also more importantly, it's the way that we've been engaging with the clients. So the transformation has been from, we're just keeping the lights on, reactive help desk, to actually getting into the clients and providing them with advice and guidance, and then unlocking more opportunities by actually engaging delivery partners instead of doing everything ourselves. So we've seen a dramatic rise in client satisfaction and much better business outcomes for them. But we've also, a symptom of that has been the growth of the business. And we've been able to not just grow the business from revenue side, we've actually been able to, more importantly, grow the profitability. We haven't had to add many heads because of leveraging delivery partners. We're actually getting a much better outcome, rather than trying to hire people that aren't going to stay very long because we don't have enough volume of the different projects. And that's been a very critical mindset change. And that's a great example of that sort of transformation. And I'm seeing, not just from the people that I directly work with, but the ones that are engaging with the advisory are the ones that are going on that rapid or hyper growth stages without needing to do actual other partner acquisition. They're able to actually generate demand in the market inside their clients, but also get a lot more new clients, because they're doing something completely different in the market, but are meeting a need from the clients.
Okay. I love that. So really going deeper with the client, serving these other areas where you don't have to hire a specialist for that, BI or CRM or ERP, whatever it might be. Bring in a partner, clients happier, they stick, and you increase your margins. You get, yeah. So so the premise is they don't have to add a single client and stress about marketing, but still double revenue.
It's very possible. And it really, I can't overemphasize it. It really requires that mindset change of, we're not everything to everyone. We know who our clients are. We're talking their language. We're meeting them where they're at, and we're focused on delivering solutions to their challenges and creating opportunities for them. We're not stuck on this old school MSP thought process of, we've got only one package. It's a rigid stack. That's all we do, because you cut out all the business needs of what our clients want and need.
Okay. And so, yeah, we'll wrap it up there. So James shared before we started recording this that he's fully booked, but who knows when you watch this. So we do have a link on this page here somewhere to get into his calendar or get a call booked with him and see if it might be a fit. So we've also done several podcasts together a couple of years ago on project management specifically. So highly recommend checking those out as well. I think there's like 5 or 6 episodes we did. And that's huge because so many TSPs are not profitable on projects, or they're late, or it's a bad experience. So many issues there.
Without ranting too much on that, it's a good call out, because profitability in projects are significantly dropping. So we've always been bad at it as an industry, but I'm seeing it drop further and further. And a bit of insight around that is the landscape is changing. What we used to do is those big uplift projects. they're not what we're doing anymore. It's a lot of microservices projects. So if you're doing an average $20,000 service labor projects, what's happening now is actually the average project size is $4,000 to $5,000. So we're getting a lot more velocity. So our methodologies of the past, we need to adapt that, not just in the way that we manage projects, but also the way that we sell and engage with clients. And if you don't transform that approach, you're gonna keep seeing that profitability drop quite significantly.
Yeah. Good point there. Yeah, definitely seen it in our MSP as well. So not many server projects, no many major office migrations. People are remote, hybrid, so lots of small things. Okay, thank you very much, James. It's been fantastic to collaborate the last several years, podcasts and with clients and such. So thank you.
Thank you.